From uncovering sophisticated iron hand prosthetics in Bavaria's past, challenging assumptions about medieval medicine, to the intriguing terracotta dog discovered under Rome's ancient streets. So get your snack ready and enjoy this video exploring the top 20 greatest discoveries on Earth. 20. The Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone, a serendipitous discovery in 1799, unlocked the secrets of ancient Egypt. But how did this stone end up in Rosetta? It was originally located in a temple near Sais, a major Egyptian city in the Western Nile Delta, and later moved to Rosetta, where it became part of a fort. But what happened to the stone after its discovery? After the defeat of the French troops in Egypt, the stone became the property of the British and was taken to the British Museum. A French linguist reported that hieroglyphs are a symbolic graphic writing system representing a complex combination of phonetic and ideographic signs. This revelation allowed for the understanding of the hieroglyphic code and the use of this knowledge for further study of Egyptian civilization. 19. Preserved shipwrecks. In 2016, an archaeologist's routine seabed scan in the Black Sea near Bulgaria's waters led to an astonishing find: 41 remarkably preserved shipwrecks. Originally investigating post-glacial water levels, the team unearthed an underwater graveyard due to the seabed's low oxygen levels at a depth of 150 meters. Modern technology, including remotely operated vehicles with high-resolution cameras, enabled a vivid 3D recreation of these time capsules. Why did the team opt not to bring the ships to the surface? Equipped with geophysical instruments, another vehicle expanded the exploration to relics from the Ottoman and Byzantine empires. Astonishingly, the decision was made to leave the vessels untouched, leveraging the Black Sea's unique conditions for long-term preservation. These discoveries, submerged for over 2,500 years, reveal intricate details of Roman and Ottoman eras, offering a glimpse into the past while raising questions about preservation ethics and future exploration. 18. Pioneering prosthetics in Bavaria's past. In Bavaria, archaeologists, during pipeline excavations near the St. George Church, stumbled upon a remarkable find: a well-preserved skeleton dating between 1450 and 1620. What sets it apart is a sophisticated iron hand prosthesis, an early testament to human inventiveness. Strikingly, the device replaced 4 missing fingers on the left hand, attached with straps, advancement ahead of its time. Why were 4 fingers amputated, and what drove the use of such a complex prosthesis? This discovery challenges assumptions about medieval medicine, revealing an unexpected level of sophistication. While the purpose of the prosthesis and the reasons for amputation remain mysteries, traces of fabric and skin suggest efforts to enhance comfort for the person left with only a thumb. The uncovering of approximately 50 similar prostheses in Central Europe from the same period suggests a possible surge in demand, possibly linked to the 30 Years' War and widespread limb amputations. 17. A henge. Have you ever wondered what ancient people did thousands of years ago? How did they live? What did they believe? And what did they build? Sometimes we can find clues to these questions in unexpected places. For example, in Ireland, a researcher found a very old and mysterious structure that was hidden for a long time. The structure is called a henge, which is a circle of stones or wood that was used for ceremonies or rituals. The researcher, Anthony Murphy, was flying a drone over a field when he saw a strange pattern on the ground. It was a circle of grass that was different from the rest of the field. He realized that this was a sign of a henge that was buried under the soil. The henge was revealed by a heat wave which dried up the water in the pond that covered it. The grass that grew over the henge was also affected by the heat and changed its color. This made the henge stand out from the air. The henge is very big, about 150 meters across, and very old, about 5,000 years old. 16. Tomb of Tutankhamun. Imagine finding a hidden treasure that reveals the secrets of an ancient civilization. That is what happened in 1922 when a British archaeologist named Howard Carter discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun, a young pharaoh who ruled Egypt over 3,000 years ago. But how did he find it? And what did he see inside? How did Carter find the tomb? Carter was looking for the tombs of the pharaohs in the Valley of the Kings, a desert area where many rulers were buried. He had been searching for years, but he had not found anything. He was about to give up when he decided to dig one more spot. There, he found a staircase that led to a sealed door. He broke the door and saw another door with the name of Tutankhamun on it, and he had found the tomb there. 15. Dead Sea Scrolls. What if you could read the words of people who lived thousands of years ago? What if you could learn about their beliefs, their culture, and their history? That is what some lucky researchers did when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of ancient manuscripts that were hidden in caves near the Dead Sea. The scrolls were found by a young shepherd boy named Muhammad ed-Dib in 1947. He was looking for a lost goat when he threw a stone into a cave and heard a cracking sound. He went inside and saw some jars that contained leather scrolls. He did not know what they were, but he took some of them and sold them to a dealer. Later, other people explored the caves and found more scrolls. The scrolls are written mostly in Hebrew, but also in Aramaic and Greek. They are made of leather, papyrus, and copper. They date from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. They contain different kinds of texts, such as religious writings, legal documents, historical accounts, and literary works. 14. Derinkuyu Underground City. A man in Turkey decided to explore it, and he found something amazing. He found an underground city that was built thousands of years ago. Who was the man, and when did he find the city? The man was a farmer who lived in the Derinkuyu district in Turkey. He found the city in 1963 when he was renovating his house. He knocked down a wall and saw a hidden room. He went inside and saw a tunnel that led to more rooms and chambers. He realized that he had discovered an ancient city that was buried under the ground. The city is called Derinkuyu, which means deep well in Turkish. It is an underground city that has 8 levels and extends more than 60 meters deep. It is the largest cave settlement in Cappadocia, a region that has many volcanic rocks and caves. The city could have housed up to 20,000 people. It had everything that a city needs, such as ventilation shafts, water sources, stables, a church, and a winery. 13. Galloway Horde. What would you do if you found a hidden treasure in a swamp? That is what happened to Derek McLennan, a metal detector enthusiast who discovered a horde of ancient Viking artifacts in 2014. But what are these artifacts, and where did they come from? And who was Derek McLennan, and how did he find the horde? Derek McLennan was a retired businessman who liked to search for metal objects with his detector. He was exploring a marshy area near a church in the town of Galloway in southwest Scotland when his detector beeped loudly. He dug up the ground and saw a silver object. He realized that it was part of a Viking treasure. The hoard is a collection of more than 100 items that date from the 9th or 10th century CE. It is also known as the Galloway Hoard, after the place where it was found. 12. The Suncor nodusaur. In March 2011, a miner working in an oil sands mine in Alberta, Canada, made a surprising discovery: a fossilized dinosaur skeleton buried in the sand. But this was not just any dinosaur. It was a nodusaur, a type of armored plant-eater that lived about 110 million years ago, and it was one of the best-preserved fossils of its kind ever found. Nodosaurs were a group of dinosaurs that had thick, bony plates on their backs and spines on their sides. They were related to the more famous ankylosaurs, which had club-like tails. Nodusaurs did not have clubs, but they had sharp claws and powerful jaws. They were herbivorous, meaning they ate plants. The nodusaur fossil, nicknamed the Suncor nodusaur, is remarkable for several reasons. 11. Hal Saflieni Hypogeum. Have you ever heard of a temple that is underground? A temple that is older than the pyramids and Stonehenge. That is the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, a mysterious and ancient site that was discovered by accident in Malta. The temple was discovered by some workers in 1902 who were digging a sewage system in the town of Paola in Malta. They broke through the ground and saw a hole that led to a cave. They went inside and saw a huge underground complex that had many rooms and passages. They realized that they had found a prehistoric temple that was hidden for thousands of years. The temple is called the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, which means the underground chamber of Hal Saflieni, the name of the street where it was found. It is the world's oldest underground temple, dating back to the 4th millennium BCE, or more than 6,000 years ago. 10. Bronze Age chieftain. Have you ever wondered how people buried their leaders in the past? And how did they honor them, and what did they give them for their journey to the afterlife? Well, in England, some workers found a wooden coffin that belonged to a Bronze Age chieftain. The workers were building a pond at a golf club in Tetney, Lincolnshire, in July 2018. They were digging the ground when they hit something hard. They thought it was a tree stump, but it was actually a coffin made from a hollowed oak trunk. They called the archaeologists, who came and excavated the coffin. Inside the coffin, there was a skeleton of a man who was holding a stone axe with a wooden handle. The skeleton and the axe were over 4,000 years old, dating back to the Bronze Age, which was a period when people used bronze tools and weapons. 9. Viking sword. The Vikings left behind some kind of weapons and artifacts which they use and lose after their raids and voyages. In Norway, a traveler found a Viking sword that was buried in the snow for over 1,000 years. Who was the traveler, and how did he find the sword? The traveler was a man named Olsen, who was visiting the village of Haukeli in Telemark County in 2015. He was walking in the mountains when he saw something shiny in the snow. He dug it up and saw a metal blade. He realized that it was a Viking sword that was very old and well preserved. The sword was about 77 centimeters long and had no handle. It was slightly rusted, but still in good condition. It was about 1,200 years old, dating back to the 8th or 9th century CE. It was a period when the Vikings started to expand and explore new lands. They came from Scandinavia, which includes Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. They were raiders and traders who sailed in their ships and attacked many places in Europe and beyond. 8. Roman villa in Parma. What if you could find a hidden treasure in your backyard? That's what happened to a programmer from a small town near Parma, a city in northern Italy known for its art, music, and gastronomy. He was browsing satellite images online when he spotted something strange, an oval shape with rectangular shadows near his home. Curious, he contacted the local museum and asked them to investigate. What they discovered was a remarkable piece of ancient history, a Roman villa dating back to the 1st century BC. A Roman villa was a country house or mansion that was built and inhabited by wealthy Romans. There were different types of villas depending on their location, function, and size. Some were used for leisure, some for agriculture, and some for production. The villa near Parma was probably a villa rustica, a farmhouse estate that was associated with small-scale farming or viticulture. The archaeologists found fragments of pottery and stone that belonged to the villa, as well as traces of walls, floors, and rooms. 7. Paul Cezanne. Imagine finding a hidden treasure in a painting that you thought you knew well. That's what happened to some art experts who discovered self-portraits of two famous post-impressionist painters, Paul Cezanne and Vincent van Gogh, underneath their other works. Paul Cezanne was a French painter who is considered one of the founders of modern art. He experimented with color, form, and perspective, creating paintings that influenced many later movements, such as Cubism and Expressionism. One of his early works, Still Life with Bread and Eggs from 1865, depicts a simple scene of food on a table. However, when the painting was examined by infrared reflectography, a technique that reveals the layers of paint below the surface, a surprising image emerged, a self-portrait of Cezanne, looking young and confident, with dark hair and a mustache. 6. Hidden treasure in the Egyptian desert. How often do you look at satellite images of the Earth? You might be surprised by what you can find. In 2008, a former museum curator made a remarkable discovery while studying the natural features of the Egyptian deserts. He spotted a round impact crater that turned out to be one of the best preserved meteorite sites in the world. What kind of meteorite created this crater? The Camille crater was formed by the fall of a rare metallic meteorite that traveled at a speed of 35 kilometers per second. The cosmic object weighed between 5 to 10 tons, and its width was just under 1.5 meters. Upon impact, the meteorite appeared as a fireball with a trail, leaving behind a crater 3 meters deep and 45 meters in diameter. Remarkably, this crater remained untouched and invisible for thousands of years, preserving its original state. Discovering over 5,000 fragments, scientists calculated that the meteorite fell to Earth more than 2,000 years ago. 5. The ancient bison. Imagine finding a frozen animal that is older than the pyramids of Egypt. That's what happened in 1979, when a family of 4 from Italy discovered a relic of the Ice Age near Fairbanks, Alaska. They were mining for gold when they uncovered a part of a beast's carcass that had a strange blue color. What caused this coloration? The beast was a steppe bison, an extinct species of bison that lived in Eurasia and North America. It was covered with a layer of vivianite, a mineral that formed due to the chemical reaction of phosphorus from the animal's tissues with iron in the soil. When the vivianite was exposed to oxygen, it turned bright blue, earning the bison the name Blue Babe. Blue Babe was one of the best preserved specimens of its kind, with intact skin, hair, and organs. Scientists from the University of Alaska studied the bison and determined that it was about 36,000 years old. They also found evidence of predation by an American lion, an extinct relative of the modern lion that may have killed the bison. 4. The ancient fish trap of Wales. What if you could discover a hidden piece of history by just browsing Google Maps? Well, that's what exactly happened to some archaeologists who stumbled upon a giant fish trap off the coast of Wales. This amazing structure was built by the people who lived there about 1,000 years ago. The fish trap was a cone-shaped structure made of stone and boulders that were left from the last glacial period. It was over 300 meters long and extended from the shore to the sea. The trap was designed to catch fish that swam into the narrow opening and could not escape. The people who built it used their creativity and skill to create a complex and effective fishing device. The fish trap was not noticed until 2006, when Google Maps published satellite images of the area. It was only then that archaeologists identified it as a rare and valuable find. They also found similar structures nearby, suggesting that this was a common practice among the ancient inhabitants of the British Isles. 3. The SS Jassim. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the sea? Well, sometimes you can find them by just looking at Google Maps. That's how the SS Jassim, a Bolivian cargo ship that sank in 2003, was discovered. It is one of the largest ships ever found using this service. Why did it sink? The SS Jassim was launched in 1961 and had a long career of transporting goods across the oceans. On the evening of December 1, 2003, it was sailing near the coast of Sudan when it encountered a storm. The ship was battered by strong winds and waves and eventually capsized and sank. The crew managed to escape, but the ship was lost. Experts still do not know the exact cause of the sinking. The SS Jassim remained hidden for years until Google Maps captured its image in 2009. It showed the ship lying on its side as if frozen in time. 2. The Terracotta Dog of Rome. What can a small statue of a dog tell us about the past? A lot if it is a terracotta dog that was found under one of the oldest streets of Rome. This statue was part of a larger archaeological discovery that included 3 tombs and a burial urn. But who made this statue and why? The terracotta dog dates back to the period between the 1st century BC and the 1st century AD, when the Roman Empire was at its peak. The statue depicts a pointy-eared dog with a collar and an object in its paws. The breed of the dog is unknown, but it shows that the Romans cared about their canine companions and bred them for different purposes. The statue was probably a decorative item or a gift, as it did not have holes for water drainage, unlike other terracotta statues that were used as part of the drainage system. 1. Notre-Dame. The Notre-Dame Cathedral in Paris is a masterpiece of Gothic architecture that has witnessed many historical events. But in 2019, a devastating fire almost destroyed this iconic monument. However, the fire also revealed a surprising discovery: 2 ancient sarcophagi that were buried under the cathedral for centuries. Who were the people inside these sarcophagi? The first sarcophagus contained a high priest who died in 1710 at the age of 83. He was a prominent figure in the church and the society of his time. The second sarcophagus contained an unknown man who died between the ages of 25 and 40. He was a horseman and an aristocrat, as indicated by the leaves and flowers that adorned his coffin. He may have suffered from chronic rhinitis or tuberculosis, which could have caused his death. And that's it. These are the top 20 discoveries which are far from being normal in the 21st century. But what do you think about these discoveries? Let us know in the comments section below.